I want to start by isolating the absolute value. In order to do that, I need to add 5 to both sides. So I have the absolute value of 4x minus 3 equals 7. And because it's an absolute value, we're talking about a distance away from 0. So that distance would be a positive 7 units or a negative 7 units. So I have set up my two equations here. Now I need to solve. So I'm going to start by adding 3 to both sides. I have 4x equals 10. Divide by 4 to isolate my variable. I have x equals 10/4. If I want to simplify that, I can divide both the numerator and denominator by 2 to get x equals 5/2, which is one of my solutions. Now looking for my other solution, again I'm going to isolate the 4x by combining like terms. So negative 7 plus 3 is a negative 4. I'm going to divide by 4. I have x equals a negative 1. My other solution. I want to isolate the absolute values. In order to do that, I need to subtract 1/3 from both sides. Getting the absolute value of 1/2 x minus 2/3. 4/3 minus 1/3 is 3/3. 3/3, which also can be written just as 1. So if my distance is 1, it means it's either a positive 1 unit or a negative 1 unit away from 0. So I'm going to set up those two equations. 1/2 x minus 2/3 equals 1. My other equation would be 1/2 x minus 2/3 equals a negative 1. So I'm going to start, I want to get that x by itself, so I'm going to add 2/3. I have 1/2 x equals, now 1 plus 2/3, remember 1 could also be 3/3, so 3/3 plus 2/3 equals 5/3. Then I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, because 2 over 1 times 1/2 is just 1, leaving me just x on the left side. And 5/3 times 2 over 1, multiply numerator straight across, so 5 times 2 is 10, over 3 times 1, I have 10/3, which is one of my solutions. Working on the second equation here, again I'm going to start by adding 2/3. So I have 1/2 x equals, well, negative 1 plus 2/3 is a negative 1/3. Multiplying by the reciprocal, again, 2 times 1/2 is just 1. And a negative 1/3 times 2, multiplying by numerators, negative 1 times 2 is a negative 2. 3 times 1 is 3, so I have a negative 2/3.